Alright, this is just a track guide for the Nords part of the N24 circuit. The GP circuit is simpler, and I don't have as much experience on it, so I wouldn't feel as comfortable giving a guide on it. So we're just going to focus on the Nords part for now. Entering this munitions curve, brake hard right when the barrier turns reddish orange. You see I'm already braking a little bit, but generally that's what you want to aim for. We're going to turn in a little bit here. We're going to move out into the pit lane just to get as much space as possible. You're going to brake. Okay, so then you're going to apex right at this point where the curb is closest to this Volkswagen logo. Track out to the right. It's flat through here. Watch out for this divot here. It can unsettle the car, but it shouldn't be that bad. So full throttle here, it will be a little scary, but you can do it. Get all the way to the right and apex here. Don't touch this curb though, and then track out onto these columns. And then we're gonna brake right here where there's this like bold graffiti. We're doing this because this track starts going downhill again. Like there's this divot here, and we brake on that, we're gonna end up way too fast. Get all the way to the left here. Try not to hit this curb, it will unsettle you. I touched it a little bit, but if you touch it any more than that, it's gonna be really bad. You're gonna end up over here in these curbs. Then we're gonna apex pretty late on this curb. Don't be afraid to use it before tracking out about halfway. We're gonna use a lot of this curb here. Don't use too much of it though. It's really easy to get an off track here, but it will straighten out this complex. And then same thing with this curve here. We're gonna slow down a little bit entering this, just like on this graffiti here. And then track out all the way right. Go left, and we brake when this graffiti ends. We've been in 4th so far for this complex. We're going to shift down to 3rd for this and get all our turning done on this flat section using a lot of this curb. Because it does go downhill again, we're not going to be able to turn as easily. Track out all the way to the right onto this curb. Be careful to get off of it before it ends. It's really easy to get in there. Entering Flugplatz, we're going to get all the way to the left. We're going to turn in at this concrete bit here, and we're going to lift off to about half throttle. We're going to go a little bit lower than that, but about half throttle is where you want to be. Quickly lift off and then get right back up to the throttle all the way through this section. Entering Armberg, we're going to brake just a little bit, and we're going to let off the gas. We want to hug this. We want to hug the left side of the track here. So if you end up too far to the right, you're not going to be able to get to the left of the track for this. For Armberg coming up. Brake when the track changes color here, and then we're going to trail brake a significant distance into this corner until about the apex, and then we get back on the throttle. And don't be afraid to use this curve to the left. Foxhole, you just want to make it through. There's not a lot you can do to get faster here. Just full throttle all the way through. Here we're going to get all the way to the right. We're going to start braking about when this sign here overlaps with this brace on the windshield. We're going to get all the way to the left. Use as much of this curb as you can without unsettling the car too much. It's going to it's going to unsettle it, as you can see here, but you're going to want to use a lot of that. We're going to brake again at this bold graffiti. Down 4th, and then we're going to get down in, you can get back on the throttle exiting this turn. And then brake again at this graffiti here. Down into 3rd. You're going to want to apex. You're going to track out a little bit, but not too much. About halfway, and then apex here. And then a late apex here to get a better run. And all the way over the curve. Use all the track right here and put it down to 5th momentarily. Not a whole lot of braking here, just really a big lift. And then here you're gonna have to feel this one out a little bit. The track starts going downhill a little bit, as you may be able to see. We're gonna want to start braking before it really starts going downhill a lot. Down into 3rd, just for that rotation. You can also do it in 4th. I find 3rd gives you a little bit better rotation, but both are acceptable ways of getting through this. Be careful not to hit this curve on the right; it'll send you into the barrier. And then we're gonna want to brake again once we get to this sign here. Down to 3rd. Apex really late. We're gonna apex here. So we're gonna start braking this sign, I guess halfway through, but when the front of the car gets to this sign here, and then apex all the way down here, and track out this curve. These are scary, but you can take it flat. Just make sure you get all the way to the right, and then use as much of the track on the left here. You can use this curve a little bit, but don't do it too much. It might send you into this. For this corner, use these marks here as a braking mark. Once you can see them clearly is when you should start braking. Entering miss, hit, miss. Keep it in 5th. It's called miss, hit, miss because you miss the apex on the first curve, hit the second apex, and then miss the 3rd. This patch of dry grass is the braking marker for this turn. All the way to the right and apex here. And then we keep it in 3rd and apex really late here. It's a no lifter there. For this section, there's no lifting. It'll feel iffy, you might have to counter zoom. You shouldn't need to lift. I'm going to brake when this curb here ends. Go down into 4th, and then apex here. Right here. Don't go all the way right. And then get up onto this curb. Keep it in 4th. Brake a little bit, about halfway. And then pull it through. Get up onto this curb. This is again another place where you can easily get an off track. Just try to get off the curb before you do this. This is an extremely important turn. There's a massive straight coming up afterwards, so it's really important to get this correct. When this sign right here crosses the second brace on your windshield, you start braking. You're going to want to turn a lot earlier than you should. It's a pretty deceptive turn. So stay straight all the way out to this graffiti here. You should start turning a little bit after that. Keep it in 4th, and then apex. Like the second, there's like two parts of the curb that jut out more than the rest. The second part is where you should apex. Track out all of it. It's a really hard turn, but it's extremely important. So all of this flat out. Really need to get forward there correct in order to maximize the speed in this straight. Here we're going to want to get all the way right onto these cobbles. We're going to lift off as we turn in, put it down into fifth. We get all the way to the left and apex here. Getting back on the throttle and then track down to these cobbles. This is flat out too, it's going to be scary, but it's good. And then we're going to brake as this curbing starts. We get down to the third. Apex here. Track down. The carousel, you're going to want to brake at this point in the curbing when it's farthest to the left. There's two ways of taking this corner. They're about the same speed in this car. Just use whichever feels more natural to you. One is to get both wheels onto this banking here throughout the entire corner. The other is to dip one wheel onto this flat part here on the inside of the carousel. Just use whichever. And then we're gonna get apex here, and then we don't really need to track out, right? Just it's natural. For this corner, all the way to the right, stay flat, apex here. You're gonna start braking as this curbing starts. Keep it in fifth, roll it through this section. You're going to end up on this curbing on the left. It's very important. And then put it down into fourth, and you got to stay on the inside for this curb. For this turn, there is a lot of banking here that you can't really see very well, but it's there. If you end up out here, you're just going to wash out. We're going to apex here. Here. Track out all the way. Small lift entering this corner so you don't end up too far right. I'm going to brake as this graffiti starts. And then use all of this curbing. I kind of miss it a little bit, but use all the curbing. It's a little faster to not, but to stay safe during the race, we're going to want to use all of that curbing. And then same thing with this, we get really far right, like just one wheel on the track. And then use this curbing here. Don't touch the grass, you'll get an off track. Fourth, and then we're going to apex here. Like right here. Track out all the way to the left. This corner, we're going to go into fifth momentarily, or you can keep it in fourth. It's the same thing. And then is a double apex. We're going to apex here. Track out a little bit, but still staying on the inside because it is significantly more cambered on the inside. And then apex again as this curbing ends when we get onto this cobblestone. If you hit this curbing, it's going to unsettle the car a good bit. You want to get as close as you can to it, but you want to aim for this cobblestone. I'm going to brake again before it starts getting down, before it starts going downhill again. Keep it in fourth, and then apex here. Track out all the way to the left. This is again another place where it's really easy to get an off track. Keep it in fourth and brake when this curbing ends. late apex here. Track out all the way here onto these cobblestones and curve. Keeping it in fourth. Get as far right as you can. And then apex around here. And use as much of this curve as you want. Flat through this section. This is our first big jump. It's important that you don't brake before you take off. That'll pitch the nose down and you'll end up landing on just your front wheels and spinning out. You can, during the race, you're going to want to lift off around here. Just, it's a little safer and it'll save a little bit of fuel. And then brake once you land. We can keep it in fifth, and then apex here. Don't track out too much because it's going to go right again, and it's banked. And then apex again here. And then we're gonna, it's a bit of a blind corner over a crest. We're gonna get some returning done before we hit the top of that crest. And we're gonna apex around here and then track out all the way. It's flat for a while now. We'll get all the way to the left. Turn in once once the middle of your car is over this square. We're going to keep the same steering angle throughout this corner and throughout the exit of it, because if you let go of the steering angle quickly, you're going to end up all the way over here, and you could get, it's almost the only place you can get a slowdown on this entire track. This corner up here is tough. You can bring the brake balance forward. We're going to brake. I don't have a great braking spot for this, so we'll use this graffiti here. Brake a little bit after it and brake hard, and then we're going to stay on the inside here. We're not going to track it. And, not a great braking marker for this corner. Could put it down into fourth, and then you can carry more speed through this corner since it goes uphill. All the way to the right, and then at this graffiti here, we're gonna brake again. Put it down into third, or keep it in fourth for this corner. It doesn't really matter. You get as far left as you can, but do not touch this curb here. It will ruin your day. All the way to the left onto this curb, and just a small amount of braking. We're going to get some of our turning done before this crest here, and we're going to let off the throttle a little bit. Once you see the curbing appear again here, you can get back on the throttle. This full throttle down the entire going road. I've found that it's very easy to lose concentration down this straight, so the thing I've done in order to keep concentration is cut the left side of the track here. It doesn't give you a big advantage, but if it keeps you concentrated, it'll track out to the right, and it's flat through here. I do lift a little bit, you don't need to. Brake at this dark spot here, and watch out for the divot on the left. You're going to want to get as far left as you can without hitting this divot. Get all the way down to the third, and use a whole lot of this curve here. We're going to hit the apex here, and then track out all the way to the right.